Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the major physical features of the continent Africa. Okay, because in UPSC prelims every year at least one questions related to the world places is asked. If anything in the repeated or important current issues, then those places are asked in the prelims question. Okay, so for this we should know the major places, the important things in all continents. Because from any content the question will be asked. Because in the last few years, if you revise the prelims question, you can see the questions about the places in West Asia repeatedly. Okay, because those regions are in the news frequently. Okay, that's why we should know the physical features and the political aspects of the all continents. Okay, we don't want to know about very particular things about a particular country in a region, but we should know the broad zone, the continent level. Okay, so today we shall discuss the African continent. The unique features of Africa. African continent is the second largest continent we know. The latitude, tropical latitudes, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, and Capricorn. These three latitudes pass through Africa. So Africa is the only continent all these three latitudes pass through. Okay, the Cancer, Equator, and Capricorn pass through these. So Africa is actually spreads over northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere equally, because the equator passes through the central part of the Africa. So we can study the climatic features and other physical features of the Africa very simply, because it is equally distributed in two half, north and south. Okay, the African here, let us denote equator, Capricorn, and Cancer. Okay, and now African continent is actually called as a plateau continent, because most of the regions of Africa is covered with plateau. Okay, so if you see the physical map of Africa, you can see the brown and yellowish color in the entire continent, most of the regions. Okay, so it is called as a plateau continent. Okay, done. First, the surrounding regions in this side Atlantic Ocean, and we know it is Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean here, and it is Madagascar Island. So between Madagascar Island and the African mainland, it is Mozambique Channel. Okay. The Mozambique country is here, so this channel is Mozambique Channel in this part. Okay, and here the European part, the Spain border is there, and the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean is connected by the Strait of Gibraltar. The Gibraltar Strait, important strait it is, because through Gibraltar Strait only we have to access the southern European countries and have to come through the Suez Canal and Red Sea through the Asian countries. Otherwise, before the existence of construction of Suez Canal, most of the countries surrounded the entire Africa and went to the South Asian countries. Okay, okay. So the Gibraltar Strait is one of the important straits in the world. It connects the Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Ocean. Okay. First, if you to read a map, you should know one thing. First, you know about the surrounding regions of the region. Okay, if it is covered by the sea or any channel or straits or some other thing, or if it is a landlocked country, what are the countries around those regions? So like this you study. Okay, then gradually come inside to the region. Okay, so from outside to interior you should study the map. Okay, so now the Gibraltar Strait here, and the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, most important strait, Suez Canal here, and it is also in the news frequently, Suez Canal, and we know nearer to the Suez Canal in the Red Sea region actually. Most of the international ships were attacked by the Houthis people, which was in the news. Okay, and then Suez Canal, here Gulf of Suez and the Gulf of Aqaba. Two gulfs are there, so the two gulfs are important. Okay, Gulf of Suez and the Gulf of Aqaba. Okay. The Gulf of Aqaba is more important because it has the boundary with Israel here in this region and Jordan. So Israel has the border with Red Sea in the tip of Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, done. Because once in prelims, they asked the question that which of the following countries have the littoral border with Red Sea? Okay. And they had given different countries. Okay. Okay. So in the West Asian region, almost all the countries in West Asia has border with sea. Okay, except the Armenian region. Okay. They have border with Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Gulf of Persia, and the Gulf of Aden. Yeah. Okay. And the Caspian Sea. Okay. Here in the Africa, so it is Gibraltar, it is Suez Canal, and here this Gulf of Aden and Red Sea, that is Arabian Sea and Red Sea, is connected by Bab el Mandab Strait. Bab el Mandab Strait of Bab el Mandab. Okay, and it is Mozambique Channel. That's all. So these are the importance in the surrounding regions, and there is no major islands in the Atlantic Ocean here. One island is here, Saint Helena Island, and Saint Helena Island belongs to UK. It is UK territory. Okay, so that is the one island here, and in this part many islands are here. Seychelles Island, Mauritius Island, Reunion Island, and those are Zanzibar Island. Those islands are here in the Arabian Sea region, in the eastern part. Okay, and Madagascar is a separate country and is the largest island here. Okay, so now inside this, so now we see the equator, Cancer, Capricorn pass through this. The important physical features are here. First, let us see the mountains. So here, Atlas Mountain. Okay, Atlas Mountain. Okay, Atlas Mountain has four sections. Here, High Atlas, Anti-Atlas, here Anti-Atlas, and Middle Atlas, and Saharan Atlas. Okay, so you can refer this in your map. Anti-Atlas, High Atlas, Middle Atlas, Saharan Atlas. The Atlas Mountains here, the ranges are here. Okay, then in the south here, it is Drakensberg Mountain. Okay. Drakensberg Mountain in the South Africa. Okay, and here the Loma Mountain near the country Ghana, Niger, in that region. Okay, Loma Mountain. Okay, so these are important mountains here. Drakensberg, Loma, Atlas. Atlas is the most important. Okay, then and here Mitumba Mountains. Mitumba Mountains. So these are all the mountains, and here the Katanga Plateau region, and most part of the Africa is covered with the plateau. Okay, Katanga Plateau here. Okay, and then the desert is also distributed in both southern hemisphere and in northern hemisphere in this part. So here the desert is Kalahari Desert. Kalahari. Here near to the Namibia and Botswana region, the desert name is Kalahari Desert, most important. Okay, and in the coastal region it is called as Namib Desert. Namib. Okay, so just you follow me with your map in your hand. Okay, Namib Desert and Kalahari Desert. Okay, so I am going to say you most important things only. So please note it in your notebook also. Okay, Namib Desert, Kalahari Desert, and in the north it is Sahara, that we know. Sahara Desert. The most part of the northern Africa is covered with Saharan Desert region. Okay, and then here Wagadan Desert. Okay, the Ethiopian region. Okay, Wagadan Desert. Actually, this region is called as the Horn of Africa, Horn African country, because the region looks like a horn, right? So like this, it looks like. So it looks like a horn. That's why the region is called as Horn of Africa. Okay, Horn African countries. The Horn African countries are here a small countries: Djibouti, okay, Eritrea, Somalia, and Ethiopia. So these countries are together called as Horn African countries. Okay, Djibouti, Eritrea are very small country, and Somalia, Ethiopia. Okay, Eritrea is more important because in the among the African countries, Eritrea is one of the developing and relatively developed countries in Africa. Okay, then like South Africa, Nigeria, Eritrea. So those are okay. So this is that. Okay, Ugandan desert. Okay, done. And then important rivers is no. Okay, so now let us see the rivers. Okay, okay. And one more thing is nearer to the Sudan Egypt boundary here, the desert is Nubian desert. Okay, Nubian desert. Okay, so Nubian desert, Wagadan desert here, Somalia region, Ethiopia region, Nubian desert, Sudan, Egypt region. Okay, Sahara desert, which covers most part. And here the local names are there: Algerian desert, Libyan desert, those are. Okay, similarly here Kalahari desert, and near to the coast is Namibian desert. Okay, okay, because many current issues are there. We know the Sudan and South Sudan conflict. In the South Sudan, here we know that the conflict between the army, military, and the paramilitary force for about 20 months it is going on, and due to this civil conflict issue, many cities in the South Sudan has been affected. Okay, now the major rivers in Africa. The one is here we saw a mountain, Loma Mountain, right? So from the Loma Mountain, a river goes to the north and turns to the south and joins here. Okay, so it is Niger River. Okay, river Niger. It is Niger River, and here from the Ghana river, from this it enters into Nigeria and enters into the sea here. Okay, here, and then next important is we know the longest river in Africa from the Lake Victoria. Here is the Victoria Lake. Okay. From the Victoria Lake, the Nile River which flows, and here the name of the river is White Nile. Okay. White Nile. And from the Ethiopia region, other one Nile goes. Here it is Blue Nile. Okay. The White Nile and Blue Nile meet near the capital of Sudan, Khartoum city, Khartoum, and then enters into the Egypt as Nile and forms delta here. Okay, and here the most important river. It is most important because it originates near equator and flows in the tropical region, and then that is in the equatorial rainforest region, then into the deciduous woodlands region, and then into the savanna grassland region, and then into the desert, and then into the temperate region. It empties into the sea. Okay, so almost from equator to temperate, it crosses all the climatic zones and the vegetation zone. Okay, then another one river in the Congo region, a major river. It is the Congo River. Okay, Congo River, otherwise called as Zaire, Zaire, Zaire River or Congo River, flows in Congo. The Congo River has the largest volume of water in Africa. Okay, among the rivers of Africa, Congo River has the largest volume of water. Okay, the Congo, and then Zambezi River from the Zambia through Zimbabwe to Tanzania. Here it flows, Zambezi River. And we know the most popular famous waterfall, Victoria waterfall. It is located in the Zambezi River only. Okay, Victoria Lake is different. Yeah. From the Victoria Lake, the Nile River originates. Victoria Falls, the most popular falls, it is located in the Zambia Zimbabwe boundary. Here, the falls is the Victoria Falls in the Zambezi River. Okay, and then in the South African region, Limpopo River, and another one here west flowing Orange River. Okay, so these are most important rivers in Africa. Niger River, Nile is White Nile and Blue Nile. After confluence, it is Nile, and then Congo River, Zaire River, Zambezi River, Victoria Falls is located there. Limpopo River in South Africa, and Orange River towards west, Limpopo towards east. Okay, so these are all the important rivers. Okay, and then other one important feature in Africa is Rift Valley. Okay, you may have seen this about in the YouTubes and other videos because the prediction is that Africa is going to split into two continents, and we saw the Nubian Desert, right? So scientists have named it as the predicted it is going to be split into here as a separate island or continent. The name is Nubian continent. Okay, so the African part, the eastern part is going to be split from the main part as Nubian continent. Okay, so scientists have predicted that in 20,000 years or in 30,000 years, it may split. Okay, you may have seen about the Great Rift in the Kenya recently occurred. Okay, because from the Jordan region, okay, from the Jordan to Israel and through Red Sea, here the rift extends up to the southern part. Okay, so this is the Rift Valley part. Actually, this Rift Valley is called as East African Rift Valley or Great African Rift Valley. Okay, so here, and the rift actually it splits here like this. The Western Rift, Eastern Rift Valleys like this. Okay. In these Rift Valleys, many lakes are there. Between the West Rift Valley and the Eastern Rift Valley, Victoria Lake is located. Okay. The origin of Nile River. Okay. Among in the rift, many important lakes are located, and the lakes are here. Lake Malawi, okay. The Malawi country is there, we know the Malawi Lake, and then Tanganyika Lake. So Tanganyika Lake is most important. It is the second deepest lake in the world actually. Okay. And deepest lake is Baikal Lake in Russia. Okay. The second deepest lake is Tanganyika Lake. Okay. The Tanganyika Lake. And then one more important lake is it is in the current issues. That is the Lake Kivu Lake. You may know about the issue between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. Okay. The M23 organization, March 23 group. So those rebels, they have encroached many cities of DRC region, and particularly the Kivu Lake region, okay, has been occupied by the M23, backed by the Rwanda country. Okay, so here the Congo and Rwanda boundary here. Okay, so here Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, the small three countries are here. Okay, the equator passes through this region, Uganda. Okay, so Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, and here DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, so Lake Kivu is more important. So Malawi, Tanganyika, Kivu, Victoria Lake. Okay, and Tanganyika Lake, Kivu lakes are in the Rift Valley lakes. Okay, then other one lake, slightly in the north, Lake Edward Lake, and Albert Lake. Lake Albert. Okay, Edward Lake and Albert Lake. So these are important lakes. Okay, and then Lake Tana. Lake Tana in Ethiopia region. Okay, so these are all. The Nasir Dam is located in Egypt in the dam in the Nile River. Okay, so these are all important lakes in Africa. Okay, So Kivu Lake, it is in the current issues. So please note it and remember it. Okay. And physically we should know these are the Rift Valley lakes. Okay. And the rift extends from the Western African region, Jordan, up to the Tanzania, southern part of Africa. Yeah, the great and longest rift valley in the world it is. Okay. Okay. So these are the major landforms in Africa. Okay. Physical features. Okay. And then vegetation pattern, it is very simply we can remember, because one advantage in Africa is the equator, which divides Africa into two half. So the vegetation pattern also distributed in both the hemisphere equally and similarly. Okay, so here equator. Generally we can order the vegetation pattern from the equator to rainforest will be in the equatorial region, and then deciduous forest in the next contiguous zone will have deciduous forest, and after deciduous forest it will be more dry, so it will be grasslands, savanna grasslands it will be. Okay, so savanna grasslands will be, and then after grasslands it will be more dry, so gradually the rainfall will be decreases in this direction, right? Rainforest, deciduous forest, grasslands, then desert will be. So the tropical, subtropical boundary, desert. After desert, here the Mediterranean type will be. Okay, Mediterranean type. It is agitation. Simply, you can remember, you may know the chart, world climatic chart. In the Gocheng Liang book, you may have revised it. The hot, wet, equatorial type climate, 0 degree to 10 degree. And then we divide this into 3, right? Here, 30, 45, 60, 90. And the middle part is divided into 3, right? So hot, wet, equatorial type climate, here desert, and here it is Mediterranean type, and here it is British type, right? And here also it is what is savanna grassland, and then steppe grassland, and then central type coniferous forest. And on the eastern side it is China type, sorry, monsoon type, and then China type and Laurentian type, right? And this is polar type, we know, the tundra vegetation pattern. Okay, so the African continent has the latitude extension from approximately it is about 37 degree to 37 degree. Okay, it has the spread in north and south. So it should have the climate up to this part, right? So if you take this chart and if you fit this in the African continent, you can easily guess the climate and vegetation pattern of the continent. Okay, so now you guess, and it is equally spread, and the mirror image of this is the southern hemisphere. That's all. So here it is equatorial type climate and the heavy rainfall region. Okay, and then the woodlands, that is the deciduous forest regions here. Okay, and then the savanna grassland region here. Savanna grassland region. Okay, and then what is hot, wet, equatorial type climate, and then savanna grassland region, and some parts of the western side are desert, right? So these are all desert region. Desert, complete desert, and here also desert, Kalahari desert. Okay, so desert Kalahari, here desert Sahara, equally distributed. Okay, and here Mediterranean type climate, South Africa, winter rainfall. You remember the winter rainfall in Mediterranean climatic zone. Okay, winter rainfall here also the Mediterranean climate, Tunisia, those regions. Okay, Mediterranean climate. So desert, and then here steppe climatic region, that is called as high veld region in South Africa. The high veld mountain is there, and the steppe grassland in South Africa is called as veld. Okay, so the high veld region, steppe. Okay, so you can simply remember that desert, steppe, Mediterranean here. Similarly, Sahara, steppe, Mediterranean here. Okay, Kalahari Desert, Mediterranean, steppe. Sahara Desert, Mediterranean, steppe regions. Algeria, the Libya, the northern part of the region. Okay, and then here savanna, grassland region. Here also savanna, grassland region. And here deciduous forest, it is called as woodlands in Africa. Woodlands, because it is not so thick forest, it is not so dense, it is woodland. Mostly the deciduous forest will be like that. Okay, and then the rainforest, the thick rainforest. So simply you can remember the vegetation pattern using the climatic conditions. Okay, the climatic conditions, if you know, if you are very clear in this chart and the latitudes, you can fit this chart to any continents in the world. Let us see one by one. The next sessions we will see the North America, South America, those of the Australian continent, and I tell you how to fit this chart with the map. Simply you can remember this. Only one thing is you should be very clear in this chart and latitudes. And if you know this concept, then you can remember the climate and vegetation pattern of any continent in the world. Okay, like this. So using this, you can guess the vegetation pattern also. Okay, so these are all the vegetation pattern. Okay, that's all. So now, these are the major physical features of Africa. In the next session, we shall discuss some political features, some important things related to the current issues, because most of the issues related to the resources are there. Because from Morocco, Tunisia, from these regions, we import phosphate minerals, India, and Nigeria, we have some relationship with Nigeria also. Many employers are working there, Indian employers are working there, and the Congo, DRC and Rwanda issue, and then the Sudan army and paramilitary force issue. So many issues are there. So let us see this in the political map of Africa. Okay. So just to revise things. Thank you all.